You can tell?
Well, I'm on there now.
Okay, good deal. Welcome to the pre-show show, everybody. We haven't actually kicked this thing off yet, so let me get this thing clicked over here. There we go. Oh, I just got the notification, Joey. Awesome.
All right.
Outstanding. Okay.
Mute us. All right, we're ready.
Okay, we're ready. Oh, you got a
That's what I'm saying.
cup.
We're
Score.
twinsies tonight, and didn't even plan it.
Got it. Nice. And did you put some stuff in here? Okay.
You want one, Brian?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, we ready to actually go with audio? There we go. All right, everybody, I'm Brian.
I'm Joey.
Welcome to episode 109, Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so. Hopefully we actually hit our marks tonight, Joey. We were long-winded last week, I think. Or one or the other. I can't remember. We're going to talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, or just playing bikes. We're going to talk tonight about winter bike maintenance. And joining us, a very special guest tonight, Baron von Fancypants, as he is most well known by. Thank you very much, Nate, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
We're going to go through a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to dive right in and talk about all the fun stuff. Joey, before we get too deep, though, what are you drinking over there?
I have some Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark tonight.
Yep.
Very good. Nate, you got anything?
Yeah, I have a cup of Floyd's of Leadville Stage 17 coffee.
Oh, cool. Well, you guys need to both hold up your cups because I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo on what was the right cup to be drinking out of tonight. So I have my Happy Turbis. This is my Happy Turbis. It makes me smile. It's beautiful colors. It's green. It makes me think of spring. And I'm just drinking some unsweetened iced tea. I'm not really in training, but, you know, it's just an excuse, and we'll use it for that. We'll say that. Anybody in the live stream, Joey, before we got going on over there?
Yeah.
Anybody joining us?
Justin's in. My wife's in. Ron Welsh. Who's Junkyard Dog?
Don't know.
What's up, fellas?
I think he's been on before, though. I think I've seen that moniker on here before.
Michael Goldsmith's on.
Hey, Michael.
Sal's on here.
Sal.
And Chuck Pitts.
Chuck. Yeah, Chuck's, I think, a Dirty Kitten night.
Oh.
If I remember correctly. I think. Roger Dodger. All right, for me.
William Pack said he's here for Nate.
Okay. For me this past week, it's been nothing but trainer. You know, with snow, I don't know. I guess I could have ripped the fat bike out and kind of gone out and twiddled around a little bit, but I just stayed on the trainer. It's so much easier. And Dirty Kitten, their winter training series, the first tour, you know, the first month, I guess it's 3 months, and they do 3 tours, and there's 4 stages in each tour, and
Love Alex and Chris.
Yeah.
Don't understand.
Don't get the rules at all. But I finished well. And I have no idea how.
I'm an idiot.
But I got some points, and apparently I got some fake internet points, and I'm towards the top of the list. So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that. I you know, for me, it's a big deal. You know.
Yeah.
What about you, Joey? What's going on with you?
Same old bike shop crap. It's been busy.
Yeah. My camera's positioned horribly tonight.
Yeah, you look horrible.
It's literally
It's like right in your face.
like right in front of you. I usually position it so that I can see you and talk to you, but tonight it's like right in your eyeballs. Sorry about that.
No, I say bike shop life. You know, usually January, February is slower-ish. And like
Right.
I told you today, it's just insane.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of Wahoo warranties.
Yeah.
No, I say shop stuff.
Yeah.
Really, I've been doing a lot of warranties this week. We have like I said, we have a lot of stuff in the hopper.
Yeah.
I'm about to go up to Pennsylvania and steal some Kuat racks.
What do you mean?
Well, Hush Money posted the other day they probably had more than Kuat. I'll keep mine short. That's about it, though.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can get to the good stuff.
Now, Nate, where are you joining us from?
Yeah.
Up in Pennsylvania.
Downtown Lancaster, PA.
Downtown Lancaster. And you guys we got southern Maryland snow, which means it spit at us for a little bit, and then it turned to rain, and now it's all gone, and everything's still closed down for what, 5 days, Joey, while they, clean the sidewalks? How much snow did you guys get up there in Lancaster?
I don't know because I haven't been outside of my house yet today.
Okay.
I feel like it was more than a foot. It just kept coming. Like it just kept coming and coming.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've had snow. So it actually piled up.
Yeah, I was mentioning to Joey earlier, I moved here 3 years ago from Oregon. I lived in ski towns. I haven't seen snow since I got here. I'm kind of miserable about it, so I'm stoked about today.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal.
No, Ron's from Columbia, right next to Lancaster.
Ron's down in North Carolina now, I believe. I don't know. Nate, can you see the live stream? Or you may not be able to see it.
I'll read him stuff.
If you go to the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, one of the two, you'll be able to see it. But you just need to keep it muted.
That's a lot. I can do.
You guys are really overestimating my ability here.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, Joey, what's going on in the world of Strava?
Real quick, Strava. And random picks, I have Nate Murray from York, PA with 176 miles.
Good job, Nate.
Eric Baker, local.
Nice.
From Lexington Park with 129.5. And Jonathan Dubell with 138.3 from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Now,
that's kind of like our range of listeners.
yeah, that I was actually just looking at the geography of where those people have all come from.
It's either like all PA
nice.
people, all North Carolina, and then we just mixed it.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. And then a local. I like
Yep.
that.
The top 100 was at 118.4, and we reached 700 followers.
Well, wait a minute. 118.4. Oh, 700. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, for the top 100.
118.4. That's down a little bit.
We reached 700 followers.
Yeah, there you are. You just need to mute, Nate. That's all.
Just YouTube.
118.4. Yeah. You should still be able to hear us.
I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. And now we don't get the feedback. So you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
So that's actually,
I am unbelievably bad at computers, so let's consider this a victory.
so is Joey. 118 miles, Joey. That's down a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Was that like 10 miles? Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up to 700 followers.
What's that mean?
Means Wes is coming home.
Does he know that?
No.
Somebody maybe ought to tell him.
No, we never told him that.
you
Well, if
kept-
you listen to our podcast.
He doesn't listen to the
Yeah.
podcast. He doesn't listen to the podcast. I don't. He's told us that he doesn't listen to the podcast. You think, Nate? You think you are anti-tech? Wes is.
Wes is my best friend who moved to Michigan. He's been doing the podcast with us for 2 years, and then
Then moved.
after living with me for a couple months while his wife moved out there, and just totally like he's probably erased his fingerprints already. That's how hardcore he is.
He totally disappeared. Went off the chart. Off the,
Yeah.
nowhere.
Anyway, so we joked when we hit 700 Strava Club followers, he'd have to come home or do something. So it happened.
Yeah.
See you soon, Wes.
Yeah.
So Wes, maybe we ought to tell Melanie that she needs to listen to this podcast because that's going to be for her. So
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen? 700 listeners.
Yep.
Joey promised it, and there we go. So let us actually we kind of sped through our intro to give our guest as much time as possible.
Yeah.
You want to do an intro here, Joe? You got some stuff here going on?
So what I sent you, he has the show notes. I kind of just copy pasted what you sent me earlier. We just kind of want to run down a list. I told him it's a blank slate. Whatever. We want to talk about it first. Talk about the shop, opening the shop.
Can I take over for just a minute, Joe?
Yeah, I'm bad.
Nate,
at
why
this.
don't you introduce yourself to our folks that are listening to the podcast and watching us on the live stream? Let's start there.
All right. I'm Nate. I'm one of 3 owners of Hush Money Bikes in Lancaster. We opened in April, in the very beginning of the pandemic, but also kind of before the bike boom.
Wow.
I grew up in Lebanon County, moved out west more than 10 years ago, lived in Colorado and Oregon, and kind of spent a number of years just bumming around the country. I settled in Lancaster to work at a nonprofit, which was in the bike world. Stayed there for a couple of years and then ended up opening this shop with a couple of buddies in April. And that's my entire life story.
Very well, very, very well put together. So how tough was it to open a bike shop right at the beginning of COVID? My goodness.
There were definitely some challenges. Fortunately, my 2 partners I had already worked with at my previous job.
Okay.
So we knew that we could work well together. We knew that we had individual strengths that worked, that meshed well. the normal difficulties of starting a business were multiplied by the fact that things were closed for a while. So just like filing paperwork and stuff was complicated. The most complicated thing for any bike shop right now is getting inventory. So now imagine you're a bike shop that didn't exist when other bike shops were placing their preseason orders. And, you know, we've had to fight tooth and nail to get every bike we get. But my partner, Ted, excuse me, my partner Ted has done an amazing job of finding bikes, and it's a big part of why we're still paying the rent.
Cool. What kind of brands do you carry?
Kona has always been our bread and butter.
Okay.
I sold my first Kona in 2000 or 2001. I mean, it's been years. We have Norco and Scott. As far as boutique brands, we do Kona and, or not Kona, Otso and Bear Claw. Okay. Otso being the frame division of Wolf Tooth. And we also intentionally haven't aligned with any of the big four. Okay. Cannondale, Trek, Giant, Specialized. Our logic there is by not having to meet the minimums of those companies, we're kind of open to find anything. If somebody comes to us and says they want to find a Reeb out of Colorado, we'll call them up. We'll see if we can do it. Okay. You know, a Squid or a Firefly or whatever. Most of these small frame manufacturers are willing to work with bike shops on a one-off basis.
Gives you a lot of flexibility.
That's who we want to be.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility with that kind of an approach. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, Joey, why don't you give us a rundown of some of the stuff you guys said?
No, I'm bad at this part, you know.
I know. I just wanted to give Nate an opportunity and
I'm not too good.
Our folks an opportunity to, to plug into who he was over here.
Yeah. So you want to run down the kind of list of things you emailed me real quick? Or is there anything you specifically want to talk about first? You know, yeah. Sorry.
No, and we don't have to talk about anything on the list at all. It's just those are all things that are fair game, or things that sometimes people feel like they're not sure if they can ask me about. We can talk about whatever you guys want, but snacks are always a good place to start.
Let's group food because you have like 3 different food items in here together. So I'm gonna go root beer. I want to know what donut fishing is about.
Right, I almost deleted that because it has nothing to do with the bikes at all. But it's my contribution to pop culture, and gosh dang it, I don't get enough credit for it. So I want some sort of public record that this is a thing that I created.
Let's hear it.
And the most concise way of telling this is I was living in Boulder, Colorado, and I had to cross over the Boulder Creek to get from my apartment to like the downtown area. And I went over this footbridge every single day, and every single day I would see tubers floating down the creek. Mm-hmm. And one day I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny to like get a big fake novelty fishing pole and hang donuts from this big fishing pole and let the tubers snag them? So I went out and I got a dozen donuts from Dizzy's Donuts, which doesn't exist anymore. And I made this big novelty fishing pole. And I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take me to get rid of a dozen donuts, because I'm just a stranger hanging donuts from a bridge. And I'm not kidding you, they were going in 5 minutes. Like, it became a thing. So then I started going back with 3 dozen and 4 dozen and 5 dozen donuts. And it became so much of a thing that if it was a nice Saturday afternoon, people would flock to this bridge in Boulder just to see if the donut fishing was happening. And they would sit there on the banks of the creek and they would encourage people to take donuts. And it became a community thing. And eventually I moved out of Boulder and I started donut fishing in Bend. I only live in cities that start with a B. And I found out by reading an article on Travel Channel that for bike to work day, since everybody already bikes to work in Boulder anyway, their take on bike to work day is tube to work day. And apparently still to this day in Boulder, Colorado, they do donut fishing on tube to work day. And that's my contribution to pop culture. And I just wanted to get it on record.
That's fantastic. So when you left, did you have any... Did somebody realize there was a vacuum and then they came in and filled it? Or did you have a hand in saying, hey, somebody take over the donut fishing for me, please?
I didn't hand it off to anybody. I just left, and I kind of just assumed it was going to die. But somebody just eventually figured out that I was gone and took that spot. And I love it. On one hand, I'm saying I want credit for this. On another hand, I feel like I've open sourced this thing to the world. Like, here's donut fishing. World, have it, enjoy it.
Now, how well was it received in
Bend? Also really well. I would do it down in the Old Mill District. Bend was different in that you were much further away, so your piece of string was like 20 feet long.
Oh my.
But they're good, laid back stoner towns. I don't know how else to say it. They was very well received in both places.
That's fantastic. That's the kind of story, I swear, that you don't hear anyplace else.
I did pull it off at the second to last Dirt Fest. I was able to pull it off there. That was the only time I've ever done it on land. It's always been water based.
Which Dirt Fest? The one in PA?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I think I was at that one. That was when it was really muddy.
Did you get kicked out of that one too?
It was very muddy.
I got kicked out of the last one I was at.
It's actually kind of unbelievable because anything goes at Dirt Fest.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to get kicked out?
Well, another story. There's an episode about that, but I did actually get kicked out of Dirt Fest. But it was fine. It was no big deal. I would have loved to have actually seen that. Where did you do it at Dirt Fest? Did you do it down in the pits, down in the bottom?
No, it was like right at our campsite, which was at the bottom of the hill from a number of other campsites. If you go on Instagram and look up the donut fishing hashtag, you can see I posted it and some other people have posted it. And you can actually see some of the donut fishing in Bend as well.
Cool.
But yeah, it's you might be able to recognize where I did it by looking at the hashtag.
Oh, sure. I know what my evening after I do edits tonight is going to be consumed by.
it's gripping material.
Where do you want to go next, Joey?
Let's talk about snacks because
Snacks. Okay.
Uncrustables, root beer.
Now, Uncrustables, I will say this: Uncrustables are a big tour thing. We'll use those until you freeze them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the direction you're going to go with it, Nate.
There's not a direction here. I sat down and I was like, well, what are the things that I like? And I was like, snacks. Everybody knows I like snacks. I have this dream that will never come to fruition of a gravel bike packing squad where we all get crust bikes and we all get all of the hipster bags and we refer to ourselves as the Uncrustables. That's kind of the end of that joke. I haven't really worked on it that much. I haven't workshopped it.
I did not put that together.
I grew up riding road bikes in the generation where you wanted to be light and aero and fast and sleek. And I love I love how accepted big clunky bike bags are in the world right now.
Yeah.
You can just shove sandwiches in there.
Yeah.
We talked about that as one of the things that was kind of appealing about the world of gravel.
Yeah.
I'm a bag nerd. I absolutely love, and I have bags and Joe, you did the same thing. I have bags that I think have never been on my bike just because it's like, oh, I got it. And like, well, okay, yeah, I'll use it someday, but it's too cool of a bag not to have, so I had to have it. And then it's like, didn't get used.
We're trying to get a bad production frame bag from Evan up at Nittany to see how much bacon we can stash in it.
That's been a long-standing running joke. Yep, there it is. Eric says bacon.
And bacon.
I pretty much have I have Josh and Evan on speed dial. And there's a new bag that just popped up on my radar. It actually might be worth checking out. And I'm not paid by anybody other than hush money, but and that's only occasionally. I found a bag from a company called Rootworks, Rutewerks. I think it's still a Kickstarter thing, but it's a rad looking bag. It has sort of a hard flat top and then a soft bottom. And it has really got me smitten right now.
I actually think I might have seen that and done the same thing. Because there was a bunch of, wasn't there a bunch of knockoffs on Facebook? They were like saying, oh, get this bag. And it was like for $20. And it was actually the exact same pictures that those folks were actually putting out as a part of their Kickstarter. Somebody over in China probably had knocked it off, and
I wouldn't be surprised. It sounds right.
It looked like it had that nice hard top and had like some connection points on the sides and kind of some really cool stuff going on. Yeah. I know that bag.
I just ordered a new bag.
Just now?
Last week.
Now?
No. No. That one looks pretty cool.
That would surprise me from Joey.
Yeah. So what? I guess let's talk about your riding in general. Though you kind of went down the road of it. You know, we know you've done unpaved, and you live up in PA, so you got some awesome. You got like awesome every type of riding. What are you riding? And like bike wise, and what's your go to for everything?
My hardware.
Yeah.
I'm fairly true to Kona. If something great comes along, I'll jump on it. But my gravel bike is a Kona Libre, the carbon one. My mountain bike is the Process 134. I got some other things that I ding around on, but most of my riding happens on my gravel bike. Probably 90% of my actual miles happen on my gravel bike.
Yeah.
And I've been riding the same Libre since 2018. The thing's a beast. It served me well.
You came from the road world. What'd you ride back there?
Mostly Cannondales. I want to say I lacked creativity, but there just weren't, there weren't as many small, fun manufacturers out there. If you wanted to buy a bike in 1997, there were only so many options.
Yeah.
And Cannondale was still mostly in Pennsylvania at the time. And I am forever true to my Pennsylvania roots. So I'll also say that my current road bike is still a Cannondale. So there you go.
Yeah, I got back in the late '90s, the bespoke market was just not there. It just it didn't exist.
It wasn't.
You were kind of stuck. I was actually, it's one of my first jobs was working in a bike shop back in the late '80s. I was in a bike shop, and yeah, it was a slim market. Wasn't a lot of options out there.
I think you had Bill Gentile, Gretna Bill in here one time. Is that right?
Joey?
No.
No.
I think we brought him up a couple times, especially around Unpaved, like 2 years ago.
Okay.
He was one of my first bike shop bosses back in the day. Not like 25 years ago.
Now, Joe, you got on this list here root beer. What's root beer all about?
Again, I was just trying to think of the things that I'm passionate about.
So, Joe, you made a list.
Oh, no, this is thermodynamics.
Gotcha,
In the midst
gotcha.
I was rushing because I left my computer. I was like, all right, I'm going to copy paste this so I don't forget to talk about anything.
Yeah, we had a bit of a nightmare here tonight because Joey got home and realized he didn't have his computer.
I was using my laptop at work.
And then there was a whole bunch of runaround to actually get it back in pocket. And it pushed us back here a little bit tonight.
That's
okay.
So since we do have the live chat, what are your top 3 ground scores while riding?
Well, I found a big fat sack of weed in Lancaster about a year and a half ago, and I did in fact smoke it, and I had 0 reservations about it.
Fantastic.
And then I think 2 and 3, I only have to combine together because they were so close together. But prior to coming back into the bike industry, I would spend my summers at the beach and kind of did some surf bum stuff, and it was ripe for picking. Like, people would put their money to get ice cream in their little terry cloth shorts, and that's always coming out. And I found $20. I found 2 $20 bills within about a block of each other. So that's $40 in about an 80-foot span, and that was a pretty good 2 and 3.
That's not too bad.
Joe, anybody in the live stream there's like a bunch of people in here that like I'm filtering back through it, and they're like, yay, we know that guy.
Yeah.
So is there anything in there, Joe, you want to jump out?
Well, that was Gene's question. Let's see, grew up.
Okay, cool.
How do you remove the hook? Walk the plane?
I want to know how you remove the hooks from that donut fishing. That was Howard.
So I would take a metal clothes hanger, but I wouldn't use the end that looks like a hook because it was too sharp. I'd actually take it and bend it so that it was long, and then curl the bent part, or curl it at the bottom so that there were no sharp ends. Because while we're having fun with donut fishing, we're also worried about liability.
Absolutely.
Let's see, we're going through. Yeah, just everyone chit chatting back and forth. I know what I want. So can you, while we're here together, can you tell us about the Gummy Boys?
So you see the guy that says "one big fire and right to bed"?
Yeah, say Drew.
That's Drew Bell, and he's actually the founder, and he is the Gummy Boys. I think it's something that sometimes I get credit for. I got nothing to do with it other than he's one of my friends, and I've actually just outed him now. I don't think that he was open about his status as the head Gummy Boy. It's nothing other than appreciation for good gummies.
Yeah. Well,
we had a gummy of the year, which I think that it didn't get posted, but guy he goes by High for Miles on Instagram. His real name is Nick. Just got these big fat 3-inch gummy just goodness. I don't even know how else to describe it. Just gummy goodness. And he got our Gummy of the Year award.
Gummy awards. I like that. I like that.
We'll have to send them some stickers.
Yeah. Yeah,
we did. Let's see, Salvatore. We always call Salvatore Sal. I don't know which one he really wants to go by. 43 millimeter on the 700C and 48 millimeter on the 650.
That was random.
Yeah, that's pretty fat. Oh, we're talking about gummies.
Oh,
gum walls.
Okay, I got you.
Like tires, Brian.
Gotcha. I didn't know what kind of gummies you were talking about.
Well, we got gummies.
I was in a whole other place up and over here. I was like, this sounds fun.
That's next door to the shop.
It's like a 3-inch gummy. I'm all okay. I was in a whole other world.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay. I don't know. Mom, you're not watching, are you? I don't know.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Can we go back to that ground score question?
Yeah.
Totally forgot about the time that I found 18 Super Balls, but it was spread out over like 2 miles. It wasn't all a big pile of Super Balls. It was like either somebody was just doing this out the car window over a couple of miles, or like, I don't know, or somebody won one Super Bowl at work at Hershey Park every single day for the summer and just tossed it out the window on the way home. I don't know, but there were 18 of them. There's evidence of it on social media, all in one ride. So that's the rest of that question.
Joey, did you remember last summer out on Route 4 when there were the little CO2 canisters all over the shoulder of Route 4?
Oh, I found phallic objects all over the shoulder last year.
There were little silver CO2 cartridges, and I'm sure they were out of some sort of a construction material or something like, it was something. It wasn't actually a CO2 cartridge like you'd inflate a bike with. There were, I kid you not, I stopped counting at like over 100, and they were on both sides of Route 4 for months. They were just these little silver CO2 cartridges out there. There was hundreds of them. Oh, anyway, I never hit one, and that was what I was always worried about. Was like hitting one and having the.
I have to ride my bike to realize that.
Yeah.
Working a bike shop, man.
I thought about that after I asked the question. I was like, okay, Joe, okay.
I guess to wrap up, just some shop simple talk. Gravel riding up in York. Or Lancaster, sorry. You guys got a lot of it, don't you?
We do. A lot of it on the southern end of the county. Sometimes it involves patching pieces together. Mm-hmm. But from my front door, I can put together a 50-mile ride where the middle 18 miles are all non-macadam surfaces. Mm. So, it's a little bit, you got to put in a couple miles to get outside the city if you're in the city proper, but it's out there. And then there's all of northern Lebanon County, which people seem to have either forgotten about or not discovered yet. I'm not sure. But there's a whole gravel world in the northern end of Lebanon County that is kind of just there, right for the picking.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and Joey,
we get up there. We got
a correction here on your pronunciation of Lancaster.
Oh, well,
it's Lancaster, right? Lancaster? Isn't that right, Nate? Lancaster?
It's Lancaster.
Lancaster. Yeah. I know. We had a whole Pennsylvania town pronunciation thing we went through about a year ago with some folks, and that was one, Joe, you need to tattoo that on the side of your eyeballs there, buddy. That's when people get upset about pronunciation of that one.
Imagine that it's spelled Langkistur, Lancaster.
Lancaster. Yep, that was
perfect. Nailed it.
Yep, Lancaster.
Well, I was just reading through the comments. Well, yeah, Gene. Well, I'm pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that's John. He knows.
Now we down here, we get winter bike maintenance requirements.
Yeah, but let's talk about some.
I'm going to say up there in Pennsylvania, you're getting a lot more heavy duty kind of like things to deal with, where you get a real winter. We don't really, in my opinion, Joey, we don't get real winter. We get we get winter like a week at a time.
Yeah,
it'll be cold, and then all of a sudden it's like back up to like in the low 50s, high 40s, and that's not the real deal. So you got stuff down here, Joey, to talk about from a winter bike service perspective. So let's start off telling the people, what do you consider winter bike service? And jump in anytime, Nate. We'll talk about gummies.
So I guess the bullet points I wrote down, because there's things I focus on pushing people towards wintertime. Mm-hmm. versus middle of summer, things are hot and heavy, it's really going. Versus now, I guess some of my bullet points when I talk to people, now's the time of year to get pretty much your bike ripped apart if you want, someone like you really needs it. I do yours like twice a year.
Yeah.
I
always do it in the fall. Like end of fall when I know the road bike's getting ready to get put to bed.
Yeah. It's more prominent now because all these bikes have hydraulic disc brakes, push brake service in the winter. We don't do a lot of suspension service. Down to your typical cable overhauls, handlebar tape, bearing stuff. That's the kind of stuff I think should be focused more on in the winter. You should actually get it serviced versus just kind of like a patch job,
like in and out of the shop. Like so,
something you don't mind leaving for a couple of days because it's going to take more than just doing a quick tune-up.
Yeah, because that's my perspective. Is I know that towards the end of the season, I can bring my road bike into you, drop it in the shop, and I feel very comfortable telling you, it's like, I don't need it for a week. You'll get it back to me in the next day.
Oh, we get it back, yeah.
You give it back to me the next day.
Like big turnaround.
But, I don't mind not having it for a week because my gravel bike never goes down like that, and my mountain bikes don't go down like that, and my trainer bike doesn't go down like that.
Yeah.
But everything else, like the road bike, that bike, it goes down hard, and it's I haven't been on that bike in up 2 months.
In other words, I say wintertime in case I got to order stuff, pinot bearings and whatnot. I keep most normal stuff in, but QBP is a 1 day ship for me. So what's it like? You can walk over and get it.
We've biked over. We've picked up Will on bike before. It's close. It's real close. It's kind of a game changer for us, actually.
Yeah, I feel spoiled with 1 day, but being that close that's got to be awesome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't even, you get it. Basically their inventory is my inventory. If it's important enough, will call it and I'll drive over and pick it up same day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is really good.
I've only done that once when I've really put myself in a pickle, driven up.
Oh, really? You
done that and before? It makes it great for unscrewing yourself. I don't know how else to describe it, but you ordered the wrong part. Somebody's expecting the bike at the end of the day. You can get out of jams real quick.
Yeah.
What I want to add to the service thing, your mechanics are going to be less stressed, less overwhelmed in the winter. So the work that you want the mechanic to be meticulous and take their time on, that's the work that you take to them in the winter. Yeah. And the payoff is if you're the type of rider who doesn't like to be without their bike for more than a day in the summer, and that's a lot of us, then leave the bike with the mechanic and trust them to be meticulous in the winter, and they'll be able to turn the bike around quickly in the summer because it's basically got their stamp on it. It's got their seal of like good to go on it.
Yeah. And they know that too. They know that when that bike was in here, I handled that. So if there's a problem and a creaky weird noise, I know it's not that thing, and I can much quicker get to the actual problem. So I mean it's almost like you're bringing your bike in for a date.
Yeah, exactly.
Mechanic. It's like set them up and maybe like light some candles and
it's the time like you said I put 100% into all my bikes. I can focus a little bit more on certain issues now.
That's not what we're saying.
Buffer.
I'll be careful. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that bikes in the summer don't get the attention.
Exactly.
They may not get the time, which means that you move a little slower, I think, when you have less of a busy schedule. And when you move a little slower, you see things and you handle things differently. I think that's what I'm hearing, at least. Yeah. So what are the things that you're doing? What are the things from from soup to nuts? What are those things that should be done over the winter?
You want to go first?
Me?
Yeah.
Suspension.
Sure.
If you're riding a full suspension bike, if you're riding even just a bike with a suspension fork, that's the time to be getting it done. For the same reason I outlined earlier, you can do the job right, or you can have a job where the mechanic's not under any pressure. He's not getting distracted by customers coming into the shop. Suspension work, that's work that requires the right touch. That's the work that you want done in the winter. I mean, really anything that involves meticulous labor. We think of winter as a time to go find the surprises before they surprise you.
Yeah. I'll say the suspension is a big one. I think that gets overlooked by a lot of people. There's so many people that don't get educated when they buy the bike. that stuff needs to be serviced.
Okay.
And
Yep.
so nowadays I only do like lowers and air cans at my shop, because an hour north, like it's probably a couple hours south of you, is we have a really big suspension shop called Trailworks. I used to work really close to them, and then we both I came down here and they moved up a little bit. But I had like 4 items out at them last week because they fully stock everything. And they help us. I get stuff back within a few days.
Okay.
And like Michael used to work for Rock Shocks, like Brian, like the knowledge. So there's some, like I worked together with them on suspension, but I redid it. Pivot points were last week on a Stumpy. Suspension went out. They'll do a full suspension service in the wintertime. It's good to do. A weird little thing, Nadine, so it's kind of my jab at stands, and so Dave's going to hate me. I'm not a huge stands fan, and Nadine had a stands wheel, and there's this clicking noise.
Okay.
Every so often,
Wait a minute. Which bike was Nadine's?
her Sequoia.
Okay.
We looked at it a couple of times. One time I thought I fixed it. I thought it was the little tube inside the hub for the axle. New bearings, did everything. Came back recently, still there. It only happens when the tire is inflated, when there's pressure on the rim. And it sounds like this little knock. So you take the whole wheel apart. Literally, I gutted the hub, so there's nothing that to make noise. You take rim tape off because it's tubeless. You take all that off. Noise is gone. You put it all back, comes back. So there's a problem with the stand's rims where the weld joints, there's a little piece of metal flash that became dislodged. And I was talking to them on the phone, and I was instructed to put some super glue on it through the eye holes.
So it was
Of the rim?
inside the void, inside the space. There was,
right. So opposite of the valve is usually where most aluminum rims come together.
Right.
And it was under pressure.
That's
So,
weird.
yeah, it's not a warranty thing.
But they knew about it.
They knew about it.
Huh.
I was able to spend a lot of time on it this time for Miss Nadine before she did a big ride on the NCR.
What about hydraulics?
So I took a tube of super glue and
I'm sorry. I thought you
sorry,
knew that.
that was the fix. That's
Yeah.
what Stan's told me.
What about hydraulics?
Well, say hydraulics are a good example right now. I overhauled a 105 caliper recently, only to find out that it has some issues with it, and I had to buy a new one. So probably not the best thing to do in the middle of July.
Right.
Where you got to order. Shimano's behind on shipping right now because I guess their numbers are low for picking inventory. It's taking a little bit longer, but it's January, February. The guy's okay waiting a week or two.
Yeah.
So you come up across that stuff. But yeah, hydraulics, I usually tell people to do them once a year now.
Yeah.
I've always told them once a year, but there's so many bikes with hydraulics now. It used to be every so often.
And that's not something that your average rider is going to want to take on.
No.
Those are the thing, and I guess that's really what we're talking about. Is those are the kind of things that you
Yeah.
bring back to the shop and have them take a look at.
And I feel like as shop people, as we sell a bike, as long as we educate people, it's not a shocker that they need to be serviced. Do you guys, that's not something do you guys do any like service when you buy bikes from Hush Money, like service packages or plans?
Yeah, and we do the standard like 30 days of riding time tune-up that pretty much every bike shop does, I think. But we don't have any packages or plans beyond that.
And then because it used to be if people weren't educated when they bought the bike, tell them about the free service, and they come back, it's $35 for a brake bleed. So, but because the winter stuff does get expensive, that's the downside to winter maintenance.
Yeah.
But
Because it's
you
bigger-
buy
those are
the
bigger
Ferrari,
jobs.
you got to keep the Ferrari going.
It's a good time of the year probably to swap the sealant out in your tires.
You just swap it out or at least refill it. People don't realize how much that dries up. Yeah.
Refresh it. Either replace it or add some to it. I typically tend to take it apart.
Are you
and-
guys stands or orange seal up there?
We actually do about 60% muck off and about 40% stands.
No orange seal.
We do orange seal for a lot of the Otso builds that we do, only because that's what Otso prefers. No, but we're predominantly muck off.
Nice. I've only used a little bit of their stuff as far as sealant.
It looks like it tastes good.
Yeah.
Don't tell Joey that he eats trash. Got a couple of quick questions that came in from folks on the live stream. Tom wants to know what's your take on using wax on a chain in the winter. Anybody want to field that?
I've watched the videos. I've heard the testimonials. I understand the science, and I believe it's effective, but I have not tried it myself.
Joey?
Joey and I've gone down the road of waxing, and I have my crock pot. I've found myself riding outside less in the winter. But it depends on the condition.
Well, I'll give you a little background, Nate. Both Joey and I, well, Joey was a fan of the wax, and he put me on the wax, and I really love it. My problem though is what you're supposed to redo that about every 400 miles, and that's about every 2 weeks
for you. Yeah,
and so it's kind of crazy town.
Yeah.
And so I kind of stretched out a little bit further than I probably should. But man, when that chain is freshly waxed, I mean, it's on point and it's so quiet. That's the thing that gets me about it. It's just so damn quiet. But is there any difference, Joey, in summer use of wax when it's hot out and winter use of wax, which I think is kind of what we're headed towards?
I say I don't have the best answer for that one. I don't have enough people that have like the straight wax versus the finish line or the muck off or not muck off the I got muck off my head. And squirt and stuff like that. And
I'm not outside that much either, except on the gravel bike, occasionally. And then it's just probably not enough data for us to really tell where we're at. But I don't know. And Tom had another question too, and it's something, Joey, we've talked about before on storage.
Yeah.
Storing your bikes upside down or hanging them on the wall if you've got hydraulic brakes. So what happens with that fluid in those hydraulic brake lines when you start hanging a bike on a wall or when you start hanging it from the ceiling? Thoughts, Joey?
There's thoughts.
Is it true? They say that when you hang them and it's hydraulic that it'll introduce some air into the lines. And we've all heard that.
I don't think it introduces air. I think what it does is it brings out any air that is currently in the line up to the lever or something, then that's where you have the
mush.
You got to pump it up.
Okay. So it's probably not a long-term thing, but it's something maybe to be aware of.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best at hydraulic brakes. I feel like I'm very good, but every so often I find it more in a SRAM lever. Air will get trapped in there, and you don't find out about it until you hang it up in the back for service.
Okay.
Then you're pulling it back out and redoing it a little bit.
Okay.
But you try to catch it before the customer gets it. So I have a system I go through before a bike leaves with hydraulics.
Okay.
How do you feel about that one?
About the hanging upside down on bikes?
Yeah.
I don't see any evidence that it's still an issue. I understand that this is a thing with what was it, Avid Bikes 10 years ago or something, I forget. But I haven't seen any evidence, and I have a fair amount of data on it. Firsthand data. I don't see any evidence that it's detrimental.
Yeah, I don't think it does anything. Like I said, all I think it does is exaggerates if you had a little bit, and a lot of it's the elixirs, for example.
Okay.
Those are known for having air trapped in the lever, and there's nothing you can do about it at that point in time. So they would send us new stuff. Or there's some where you just need to bleed it again a little bit better than before. Mm-hmm. Maybe you were rushed or something. Maybe who knows? But that's all I think the hanging the bike upside is gonna do.
Okay.
So it's something that can be fixed.
So it sounds like maybe back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day,
it could have been a problem.
Juicies and a lot with elixirs.
Now that we have nanobots in the hydraulic lines, then it's not a thing to worry about anymore. Okay.
I think my only thing with storage this time of year is some people leave it in a shed or a cold garage, and mineral oil tends to get sludgy when it gets around freezing.
Okay.
Where dot fluid has a lower freezing point, but
gotcha.
That's all my thing for storage.
So, couple of quick questions circling back for you, Nate. Nick wants to know where your Instagram name came from.
Ooh.
It
didn't just show up one day.
I like things. I like nice things. And this can segue into cargo bibs if you need it to.
Yeah.
But I had my heart set on I was living in Colorado. And basically I had a nap that was ruined by a remote control that was on the other side of the coffee table. And I wanted to turn the TV down. I had to get up off the couch to turn the TV down to get the remote. But since I had to stand up, the nap was ruined, whatever, you get it. So I decided I wanted a coffee table that you could spin like a giant lazy Susan.
Okay.
And I searched high and low, and I could not find anybody that made one. So I hired like a furniture artist to make one for me. Because, that was something that I had to have in my life. And a girl that I was dating at the time was just like, whoa, aren't you just Baron Von Fancy Pants? And immediately I was just like, that is my Instagram name. Like, it just is. And I've embraced it. Most people in the bicycle world know me more as Baron than as Nathan, and I'm fine with that.
Okay. We were joking earlier, and Joey said I was going to introduce you as Mr. Fancy Pants, and you said, no, wait a minute, I spent a lot of money and time on Baron School, so let's not get carried away. What kind of gravel events are you hoping to do this year? That's from Cindy.
Okay, I did have Mid-South on my schedule. That's no longer happening. I might go out to Johnstown and do the Hope Cyclery version of it because Jared is a great human being. Lulac or Waco. And I have a little bit of a gap. I always do Donnie's events, so Keystone Gravel and Keystone Off-Road. There is nothing, not even a sister getting married, that would stop me from going to one of Donnie's events. Okay. And then Unpaved, of course. August is fun for me. I have Rooted in the first weekend of August, and then Steamboat in the third weekend, and then the Last Best Ride in Whitefish, Montana, the following week. Okay. So I'm actually getting a little bit of time off of work to drive up to Colorado, then drive up to Montana and drive back. So August is going to be fun.
That's a full schedule.
You got one hell of a calendar this year.
Yeah, that's a full calendar.
My partners, who I cannot express enough gratitude for, have acknowledged that there's value in Baron Von Fancy Pants going to these events. It's good for the shop.
Absolutely.
They've been just super generous about making sure that the shop is covered so that I can go do these things. And I just can't say enough about them.
Absolutely. There's tremendous value in that. Absolutely. No, hands down, no doubt.
Yes, I have bike shop people riding in the,
Yeah. I had Mid-South.
Mid-South?
Mid-South. The teeth. Blame the teeth.
Which mouth?
Mid-South was on my docket as well. And then I actually lead bike tours, and I had a Texas tour come up, and it was like right on this weird window where I had to be in Texas, and I couldn't really justify spending all this time out there. So I was going to actually toss it to a listener or something, and then they decided to go virtual. So I guess I'll still figure out some sort of a way in mid-March to actually do something ugly in the gravel somewhere around here as best I can find it, and maybe I'll drag Joey along for support.
Yeah. I'm not a bike mechanic on a ride.
Oh, come on.
That's what support means.
Somebody's got to carry the snacks.
Yeah. If I break something, I need somebody there to fix it because I sure ain't doing it. All right, I think that's all the stuff we've got in the live stream for now. Nate, we do something every week, which is a little kind of dumb. But we certainly seem to enjoy it.
We still do it 2 years later.
We've been doing it for 2 years. It's called This or That. We take two things, throw them against each other, and you make a choice. It's pretty simple.
It's pretty hard to come up with them.
It's become very difficult because I don't know whose bright idea was it to put 4 of them in every episode. But it's fun. People love it. People in the live stream now play along, which is fantastic. So we all have a great time with it. I sure hope that you'll enjoy it as well. You going to stick around and do that with us?
Sure.
Please and thanks. Okay. So this will be the order of business. I will read the item. I'm going to toss it over to you, Nate. You can answer first. You can explain yourself, or you can just let it go. It's up to you, whatever you'd like to do. Then I'm going to hand it off to Joey, and then I will give everybody the right answer. Does that work, Joey?
Yep.
Okay. First item up on this week's, and of course, over in the live stream, you guys need to chime in as well. First item up on this week's This or That: Dancing with the Stars or The Masked Singer. Thank you, Jess.
Never seen either of them. They both require talent. Dancing seems further away from my abilities, so I'll go with Dancing from the Stars. With the Stars, whatever. Dancing from the Stars. Get out of here. Get away from them.
Joey, I know you watch both of them every week religiously.
I've never seen either of them, so I don't even know why it came in here. We don't have cable. We don't have TV, so I don't know why Jess even put it on here. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna try The Masked Singer.
I think that is literally the most absurd thing I have ever heard of in my life. Put somebody that sings in a giant costume where you can't see. That's the dumbest thing.
I don't know. Sorry, I picked it. I'll change my mind.
No. You went with Dancing with the Stars, didn't you? Oh, you went with Masked Singer. I literally, the Masked Singer is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. So I would definitely. My daughters were dancers. My oldest daughter was a competitive dancer. So I'm going to go. I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. So I'm going to go with Dancing with the Stars just for that, because I don't watch.
Are they
them
still
either.
dancing?
No. So let's see. What's the live stream got? Michael says Masked Singer. Sorry, Michael, you're wrong. Gene, Dancing. Ron went with Masked Singer. Also wrong. Sorry, Ron. Jeff, he's got the right answer. Hate both. Howard, Masked Singer. Ted likes. Well, Ted is a dancer. I can see Ted being a dancer.
Can we do a masked dancer? That would be a fun
that would be.
twist.
I actually think they're doing something like that. I think I saw that the other day where they've mixed them all up now in some sort of a weird hodgepodge. It's probably going to be a game show too. David says neither. Justin, haven't seen either. Eddie, neither. But Tony Hawk was on The Masked Singer? How bizarre is that? Sal, of course, agrees with me because he's a smart guy. Where are you going? Okay. And Michael said least offensive. I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it. The second item, while we're waiting for Joey to get back, Mario or Bowser?
Mario, I think that if you answer Bowser to this, you're inherently evil. And I might still be your friend, but I want you to know I'm never going to take my eyes fully off of you.
Joey, we're on Mario or Bowser. Did your computer actually die? Not yet?
I'm at 14% with a Mac that could change any second to
Any
go to
second,
zero.
any moment?
All right.
It's always a challenge here, folks. So, Mario or Bowser?
Remember my beer run from the third floor?
Yeah,
that was
we should have
worse.
timed that.
Yeah. I like Mario. Bowser's a bully. My wife always plays Bowser in Mario Kart.
I think we're all going with Mario.
She loves it too. I
Yeah,
hate it.
that's.
I have a follow-up question to this. The shortcut in Rainbow Road, okay or not okay?
It's okay.
I say okay.
All right, just checking. I agree.
I got my first video game system as an adult last week or 2 weeks ago. So we bought Mario Kart last night.
Yeah, we were out yesterday and on our way back from a visit, and Joey's like, I need to find a GameStop. I was like, what, you looking to buy some stock? That ship is sailed,
I'm
buddy.
going to go up to the counter like, I want to buy some stock, please.
But surprisingly, everywhere it said was on the map, they were closed, right?
Yeah.
So we couldn't find it. It would say, oh, GameStop here, and we'd go and it'd
I
be
entered
closed.
a Walmart yesterday.
All right, what's the live stream? Let's see. Justin, Mario, Ted, Mario, Sal, Mario, Jean, the princess in Mario 2, little Princess Peach. Jeff, Mario, I loved Sha-Na-Na, Gravel Fiend, Dancing with the... He's still back over here. Dancing with the Masked Singer. Okay. That's about how things go. Third item on this week's This or That, unlimited EH whoopie pies for a 100-mile ride.
Oh, they're like, eh.
Okay. I'm reading literal. Leave me alone.
Like,
Unlimited whoopie pies for a 100-mile ride, or one amazing whoopie pie at the end of a 50-mile ride. Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I take the unlimited and just stretch it out for a whole damn day.
Nice.
But I'm not really confident in that answer. It's just words.
You're from the land of whoopie pies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, unless you ask somebody from Maine, and then you're going to get in a fight.
Oh, I've had Tom actually did make some good whoopie
Tom
pies.
from Maine. We had
yeah.
From Maine just made us whoopie pies.
But I'm gonna be honest, Pennsylvania whoopie pies,
Ooh.
hands down over Maine whoopie pie any day.
Oh, totally.
Any day. But you're lucky because you're in the land of whoopie pies. For us here, it's like, oh my God, a whoopie pie. Somebody, we got to, and they're always kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
They're always eh. So we're used to
The
the
Amish
eh.
people around here have good ones.
Where are you at, Joe? You want some whoopie pies or one amazing one?
I think I'm going to go with like one amazing.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
So the bourbon infused ones at Unpaved
Yep.
were good. The unpaved ones were good.
Yep.
The best whoopie pie I think I've ever had was when Brett sent my toolbox home to me and he put one in there. I was not expecting it. Like a month after Unpaved, it was still good.
Oh, the surprise whoopie pie.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
But
okay,
from the locally made ones up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom's were really good.
Tom's were good.
Tom's first round were the best.
But actually, that I think is more about Tom than it is about Maine.
Maine, yeah.
Because Tom is like, I would marry Tom in a heartbeat. I've seen the food that he puts together for his wife, and he could adopt me or whatever. As long as he would feed me, that would be fantastic. I would also go with the one
really good one.
One amazing whoopie pie, because just don't get them. Okay, fourth item, and there's actually 5 here tonight, Joey. Why do you put 5 on here? Okay,
yeah,
we're doing an extra one, extra bonus. Oh, wait a minute, live stream first, live stream.
We got one whoopie pie full of pierogies.
Pierogi whoopie pie.
Jeez, that's disgusting. One amazing. Then we got unlimited. Mains are fake.
Yeah. Evans just said nom
amazing.
nom nom. I like that.
Unlimited. Is that like Coke at the top of Snake Mountain during BSG?
Yeah, Justin knows what he's talking about. The Coke at mile 80 at the top of Snake Mountain on Blood, Sweat, and Gears. Yeah.
Gluten-free pierogies.
Wait a minute. Gravel Fiend says he's never heard of a whoopie pie in Australia. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. It is the mainstay pastry tasty treat of good Pennsylvania folk.
Yep.
They probably have them. They just call them by some Australian name, like Walla Walla Bing Bangs or something.
2 pieces of cake with some wonderful fluff stuff in the middle.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, fourth item on this week's This or That. Onion rings or French fries?
French fries.
Onion rings.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to follow up on French fries. Any special like way that the French fries? Because I'm a French fry fan, but they got to be fresh cut. Like
Fresh cut, and when they do that nonsense where they like bake them and then fry them, or vice versa, or whatever, I don't really know the sequence. Whatever they do with that magic, that's what I'm into.
Okay. And where do you get these magic French fries?
Magic.
I don't actually know of a reliable. This is a shameless plug. There's a restaurant in Lancaster. It's called the Horse Inn. I think they make their fries this way, but then they cover them with this. I don't think it's made with real horses. I don't know, but they cover it with this stuff that you would not believe. Come to Lancaster. We'll go for a bike ride. This is addressed to everybody listening. And we'll go to the Horse Inn and we'll get some horse fries. I'm telling you, these fries will change your life.
Awesome. Joey, where are you at?
I'm going to go onion rings. Not the ones tonight were like, because I was in a rush.
Yeah.
I want some like nice, lightly breaded.
Yeah.
Like fast food papayas.
Papayas.
Yeah, papayas.
Yeah, papayas.
But the mom and pop shop where it's not like out of a frozen pack.
Yeah, where they actually make the French fry or the onion ring. That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about that.
I hated onion rings for like 20 years.
They're like frozen
life.
in a bag, and somebody throws them in a thing, and then you eat them. Like you throw them in an air fryer, and then you feed them to a guest.
Yep.
That would be an unacceptable onion ring. I say that because Joey fed me onion rings tonight. Baron, I am with you on the super tasty hand-cut French fries with a little bit of malt
with
vinegar.
some horse on them?
And you know what? If horse is what the magic sauce is, that's fine. I'd go with that.
Just don't knock it before you try it.
Yeah.
Also, you're getting these French fries in a stable, and I want to be making this up, but I'm not. So this really might be horse meat. I don't know.
Okay, I want to run through the live stream. Justin, French fries. Evans, fries. Ted, French fries with one surprise onion ring at the bottom. Hey, no, that's actually good. I like that.
We had that. Going fishing.
Little surprise, something shows up.
Yeah.
Eddie, French fries and peanut oil. Yep. Bill, French fries, if only fresh cut. Yep. Evans, seasoned curly. And I'm not a big fan of the curly fry or the waffle fry.
Checkers.
Jeff did the same thing here, the waffle fry. I'm not a big fan of the Chick-fil-A fry. It's like a fake excuse, like a half-ass excuse at a French fry. It's like they just wanted to be different, so they cut it weird.
They're good.
Ron, fries. Bill, onion rings with barbecue sauce. Yeah. Sal, onion rings, beer battered. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. The like real deal, like kind of thing. Ted's on the Thrasher fries in Ocean City. It's the only tourist treat that lives up to the hype. True that. Bill says he's on his way, Baron.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout. You're going to have to feed him some horse. Will says I'm in for the ride in the horse fry. Oh yeah, you put out that invitation. Everybody's going. I'm coming for horse fry. So, Gian, bow.
People are going to
poutine.
show up there. Like, I listen to this podcast and I was learning about your horse fries.
Is this real? Or they're going to go and be like, is this real horse? Eddie's sweet potato fries. I like me some sweet potato fries, but you got to be in the mood for
I
the
make
sweet
those
potato
about
fry.
4 nights a week for Jess.
You got to be in the mood for the sweet potato fry. And they damn sight better. They better pay off. Howard, onion rings are better in a sandwich. Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah. Jeff, potato patch fries from Kenny. That is very specific.
Duck fat fries from the brewery up the road.
Yeah.
Fat fries.
Yeah. I'm digging that. I don't potato. I'm gonna have to Google that later. I've got all sorts of homework tonight. Potato patch fries from Kennywood Park.
Do they have French fries in Australia?
Let's ask. we have a listener from Australia. Eddie says he's always in the mood, and so is his gut. So I don't. That's TMI, Eddie.
I want to loop back to Gian and his poutine. First off, he's correct. However, I think that poutine has to be in a class of its own. And I'm only just now realizing that horse fries are essentially Lancaster's take on poutine. So I just want to give Gian credit where it's due. Poutine is in a class of its own.
Yeah, I was actually thinking poutine. I go up to visit my friends at Saracen, Wisconsin, and I had never had a cheese curd. And I went up there, and I was sitting around with a bunch of people at a table, and I actually made the remark that I'd never had a cheese curd, and you could have heard a pin drop. I literally freaked out. And so this whole weekend was on a mission to get Brian the best cheese curds, and everybody has a different opinion on the cheese curd. It was like, we're going to go to the old fashioned, but they're like fried differently, and they're this and they're that. And then finally, the one guy, the morning I was leaving, he came pick me up to take me to the airport. And he comes in with a bag of cheese curds that he got at the gas station. He's like, I don't care. Gas station cheese curds are the best. And they were. They were the best ever. The whole bunch of them. Okay, our bonus this or that tonight. Flannel shirts, buttoned or unbuttoned. Oh, Joey and I had this argument yesterday in his car. And I noticed you're buttoned tonight.
You're unbuttoned.
I like the one button right here, the one sternum button. It says if a meeting breaks out, I'm here for it. But honestly, we all know that I'm really here to party.
Well, Joey, I think we can all see what your answer is.
Button mine all up to the top.
I was in the car with Joey yesterday, and I look over, and he's got like a fancy shirt on.
It was
a fancy shirt. It was you were wearing a fancy shirt, and I was wearing just
I
old,
like nice stuff.
Well, I know, and I was wearing old. You made me feel bad. And then he was like, no, this is just a flannel shirt without the pattern. I was like, no, that's not a thing. And then he goes, and he says to me, he says, you just wear your shirts all over the place like that. I won't say what you said I looked like, but basically called me a hobo. And I resembled that remark. I am totally an unbuttoned
The younger
guy.
females at my shop unbuttoned. They wear T-shirts with it unbuttoned. They're the only people I know besides you.
I just don't like. It's more like a jacket for me. The flannel shirt is more like a jacket because I don't really wear a jacket. I don't have a jacket.
Your jacket got feathers all over my car
I
yesterday.
carry one in the car, but I don't ever put it on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeff, buttoned. David, unbuttoned. Eddie, buttoned. Sal, buttoned. I see that out of Sal. I see Sal as a buttoned
So
up.
he's a classy guy.
Yeah, he's always looks like he's well put together.
Well, he is.
Justin goes both ways. The button is formal and the unbutton is party. So there we go. Ted, buttoned while riding, no capes. Jeff, Jace makes him dress nice. Jeff says,
Jess,
makes you dress
my
nice.
wife
Did
makes
she
me
dress you yet? Did she dress you yesterday morning?
I dress myself.
Oh, you do?
I'm 30 years old. I learned that last year.
Justin's been known to double up, and William says he likes his shirts buttoned. Bill says EDC jacket. And so, yeah, see, Sal's just a classy guy. He comes back with it. That's nice. Yeah, Sal's just a classy guy.
Me and Sal are going to get some beer-battered onion rings while we go ride up in Jersey soon.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
See, I don't ever get invited for stuff like that.
Onion rings are my one defense for aero bars. If you have just the straight aero bars, you can just loop onion rings on those things. And it's like, why even bother taking those stupid gummies and sticking them on your top tube when you can be pulling onion rings off your aero bars? That's all. I'm sorry. Proceed with what you were saying.
Well, we argue about, nobody here is in favor of aero bars. We just argue about the best ways to come up and make fun of aero bars on gravel bikes. This is what we argue about. That's actually one of the first valid uses. That, and the only other thing I've come up with is more places to put bags.
Well,
yeah, definitely.
That's it. That for me is it.
I will say I have put Roy's fries in my anything bag or my feed bag.
Oh yeah. And they'll stay hot too. I have
Put some salt in there.
The Revelate, the one that's kind of insulated, and hot stuff stays hot and cool stuff stays cold. So I put fries into that bag too, and kind of you button up the top and they stay hot.
I support local. I have a Nittany one.
I don't know. I've been having it for a long time. So leave me alone. Donuts. Somebody said donuts
For the aero bars.
for the aero bars. Yeah. Donuts for the aero bars.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun thing if you could find a bridge that you could dangle the donuts off and get some triathletes and like try to get them to spear the donut with their aero bars.
They're not fun enough to do that.
Yeah, but you'd knock a triathlete off their. Oh no, we're not doing that. Not doing that. Hey, it's been a fun episode. Thank you so much, Nate. I feel like I just want to call you Baron, so I'm just gonna.
That's fine. Nobody else does.
I just call you Baron. That's what's gonna do. Joey, do you have anything else before we shut this thing down?
No, I keep talking.
Yeah, I know.
So just real quick wrap up. I know we briefly talked about winter maintenance.
We talked about winter maintenance.
Now it's time of year.
Yeah.
Most shops do specials. I don't do a lot of specials. I value service.
Mm-hmm.
Some shops will do winter specials if you're looking for that deal.
Yeah.
But
I have something important I'd like to add for shoulder season maintenance. What I call March maintenance is your riders that spend a lot of time inside on the trainers. That's when we check the hoods.
Yep.
I mean, this is not news to you, Joey, of course, but you can sweat right through your handlebars and cause an ugly accident. So getting to be that time of year when we also look for corrosion around the hood area.
Yeah. And Joey knows I'm particularly
Let's
bad.
say I had 2 bars this year that had fully worn through.
No, mine don't wear
Not yours.
through, but mine are just gross.
Yeah, trainer season.
Yeah.
Get some fresh tape too. Treat yourself.
I don't.
Yeah, treat yourself.
I don't put my road bike on my trainer. I have a trainer bike that's on my trainer.
Yeah, Brian has
Trainer.
too many bikes.
Trainer bike. I have two.
Anyway, I said.
Okay.
But also, if you're going somewhere where it's really cheap, don't go there for service. You get what you pay for.
Yep.
So that sounded really bad. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's true.
That's why I said it's
like most
the
things in
shops. You want something done. You get the right people, and you get it done.
I
So
agree.
sorry.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Special thanks to our guest, Baron. Thank you once again.
Yep. Thank you.
Folks, this
Thanks
is
for
a
having me.
listener-supported podcast by some incredible and amazing people on Patreon or PayPal. I've been looking for a while. I know we love our Patreon folks, and we love the folks that send us cash through PayPal. But there's another way that you could support this podcast, and it won't cost you a dime. And that's to share it, put a review on the podcast player. But I'm going to ask, I got a specific ask, Joey.
This is the first time you ever done this.
I know, I've got a specific ask. Pop over to the YouTube channel if you haven't done it yet and click the subscribe button. We are getting very close to our 1,000 subscriber mark, and I know a lot of magic things happen once we pass that. So if you haven't done that yet, do us all a big solid. That is a fantastic way to show your love and support for the podcast, and we would really appreciate it.
Yep.
This show can be found wherever you find your favorite podcast. And Joey, how can folks get in touch with us?
Our Instagram handle is at Mid-Atlantic GTD, or Facebook's at Mid-Atlantic GTD.
I know it's
Our
not.
website's at graveltraveldirt.com. If you want to give us a shout and leave us a voicemail, our phone number is 410-231-3850.
Yeah.
Baron, how do you get in touch with you and the shop?
Oh, I'm not kidding. I don't know what my shop phone number is.
Oh, sorry, I just meant like,
Socials.
social media.
Oh, Baron Von Fancypants, Hush Money Bikes. Check it constantly. That's honestly a great way to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
We haven't
I was
had
reading the comments. I actually kind of missed the question. I feel like I just got caught in elementary school not paying attention.
I do it
Sorry.
all the time.
Yeah, I'm used to it. We haven't had a voicemail in a while. We'd love to get a voicemail.
Yep.
Maybe somebody send us a voicemail. This episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded right here in Joey's kitchen. And Jess is even here visiting with us tonight. Thank you. Say hello, Jess. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, you know what to do. Do good. Be nice. Go slow. Respect others. And stay healthy.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Peace. Okay, it's the post show. This is GTD After Dark, where we actually hang around on YouTube for a few minutes. I showed everybody on the
usually
camera.
pretty buzzed by now.
Yeah, I looked back and I was actually really worried that I gave out Wes's phone number last week because I held it up but I went back and I looked at it in slow motion and I did not give out Wes's phone number. I did not. I did not. So I feel good about that. Hey, Larry just caught up. Larry just popped into the live stream. He actually thought he was at the beginning because it's West Virginia satellite internet. So Larry just showed up.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week. Thank you again.